This is the Cholo News Report for Wednesday 14 February 2018. In procedure proceedings at an Israeli military court in Offa prison, near Ramallah, 17-year-old Palestinian activist Al-Tamimi is indicted on 12 counts of assault and incitement. She is ordered held until the end of the trial, which is adjourned until next month. Al-Tamimi was arrested after she was filmed confronting an Israeli officer and a soldier outside her home in a village in the occupied West Bank on December 15 following what Israel says was an assault by people throwing stones at its troops. Both men, who were also kicked by the teenager, wore helmets and combat gear and tried to deflect her blows, but remained largely passive. The soldiers had deployed during a weekly Palestinian protest in the village against Israeli policy on settlements in the West Bank, one of the most heated issues in efforts to restart Israeli-Palestinian peace talks, frozen since 2014. Al-Tamimi, who turned 17 in prison last month, appeared fresh and confident as she was led into a courtroom packed with journalists and foreign diplomats. She briefly acknowledged relatives. Attending the hearing before the judge ordered everyone except her family out of the courtroom. Former association football coach Barry Bennell is convicted of 36 counts of indecent assault against youth footballers in the 80s and 1990s, following a trial at Liverpool Crown Court. Liverpool Crown Court heard Bennell had a power hold over aspiring players aged between 8 and 15, and abused them on an industrial scale. Boys were abused at his home where he had arcade games and exotic pets including a puma and a monkey on trips away, and in his car on the way to and from training. The youth scout and junior football coach was associated with a number of clubs including Crewe Alexandra and Manchester City where he was said to have been treated like God. Israeli police recommend indicting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with charges of corruption and bribery. Netanyahu calls the accusations baseless. They charge that from 2007 to 2016 Netanyahu and his family received cigars, champagne and jewelry worth hundreds of thousands of shekels from Hollywood mogul Arnon Milchan and other supporters. Former President Alvaro Colom and his entire government cabinet were arrested for their alleged participation in a new corruption case investigated by CICIG and the MP. They were sent to preventive detention at the Mariscal Zavala Military Center. Guatemala's ex-president, Alvaro Colom, was arrested on Tuesday following a larger corruption investigation. Also, detained was Juan Alberto Fuentes, a former finance minister who is now chairman of the anti-poverty organization Oxfam International. In all, 10 arrests were made over fraud and embezzlement charges for the purchase of hundreds of buses ordered for Guatemala City. South Africa's ruling ANC party formally requests that President Jacob Zuma step down after he refused to resign. In 2016, South Africa's highest court ruled that Mr. Zuma had violated the constitution when he failed to repay government money spent on his private home. Last year the Supreme Court of Appeal ruled that he must face 18 counts of corruption, fraud, racketeering and money laundering relating to a 1999 arms deal. Correspondents say it will be very difficult for him to resist a formal request to resign, but he would not be legally obliged to do so, and could technically carry on as president, despite losing the faith of his party.